world of wrestling, if there's only one thing that I could ask of this week, is that the writers of Smackdown should have wrote Monday Night Raw. Because this Smackdown was actually pretty entertaining, whereas Raw was, eh. That means this is the Smackdown Rundown. Welcome back to episode 90 of the Wrestling Rundown. I am Travis Colt. This is Kevin Hawk.
That's me.
And
you didn't see that.
Are going to talk about the matches that happened on tonight's SmackDown.
Tell me what matches happened as if I didn't see them already.
We had the League of Nations defeat the Usos in tag team
dang.
action. We had Dolph Ziggler defeat The Miz.
Huzzah!
We had Sasha versus Becky go to a no contest once again.
Boo!
AJ Styles defeated Kofi Kingston.
Woo!
And Dean Ambrose defeated Kevin Owens.
Yay!
So yeah, I mean, we had a lot of really good build and a lot of different storylines in this.
This was a well done SmackDown.
So yeah, before we talk about the Ambrose Owens thing, which was kind of the overarching deal, League of Nations versus Usos, I actually really liked the way the League of Nations worked together in this match. They were all very important pieces trying to take down the Usos. It is kind of funny to see four main event at one point dudes now can't take on the Usos without ganging up on them. It's kind of funny to see that. But the fact that they're kind of vying for the tag team spots, it was a good match. I appreciated it, and everyone,
the League of Nations working as a well-oiled machine now.
Yes,
I attribute that to the fact that Wade Barrett can move.
The fact that there's four working parts of this machine now.
Yeah, no one has to pull double duty.
Yeah, the Usos.
I'm just waiting for when they start doing the Spirit Squad move. Or each of them grab a limb and start hucking people.
The four of them could probably throw somebody really fucking high.
Yeah, let's get that on Neville. See how high he can go.
Oh, God. Neville won't come down.
Let's have him join the League of Nations, and that's how he does the Red Arrow from now on.
Yes, I'm all for that. Let's do that. The Usos were looking real good. Jay did a dive out to the outside, taking out Rusev and Del Rio. Barrett and Del Rio. And then as he got up, he got kicked by Rusev. Then Rusev got dove on by Jimmy, and Sheamus tried to run around and attack Jimmy, but got caught with a super kick.
Super kick, buddy!
Jimmy threw Sheamus back in the ring and was getting ready to set up for the Superfly Splash. Barrett got up on the ring. He got super kicked off the apron. Jimmy went for the Superfly Splash, got hit with the knees. Sheamus gets back up, hits the Brogue Kick, and the League of Nations pick up the win. You sound so Is it because Sheamus got the win? Okay. Hey, at least
if Rusev would have got the win, I would have been fine.
Oh, okay. You're much more of a Rusev fan than you are a Sheamus fan.
I prefer all three of the members of the League of Nations over Sheamus. So, in order, Rusev would have been my favorite to get the win. I also would have been okay if Wade Barrett had just gotten the win for some reason. I think my least favorite of the other three would be Del Rio.
and then Sheamus
is dead last. And by dead last, I mean I'd probably only vote for him if it meant I would die if I didn't vote for him.
Presidential race, who are you voting for, Sheamus or Donald Trump?
Sheamus can't be in the presidential race. He's not from America.
So you're voting Trump?
If I had to choose between the two, I'd probably vote Sheamus.
You're a sick bastard.
I'd probably vote Sheamus.
Okay, good. We had Dolph Ziggler versus The Miz. Miz is trying to beat Dolph Ziggler faster than he beat him on Raw, which was maybe a minute and a half. He was trying to go for under a minute this time. I really liked the end to this. Miz was on a tear, went for his corner clothesline.
Miz was in control legitimately the entire match.
Yeah. And he goes for his corner clothesline, but Ziggler's able to duck out of the way, grab him, and drag him into a backslide and pick up the win. And Miz is losing his mind. So yeah, we'll see where this goes. It's a competition of who can beat who faster. We had the rematch between Sasha and Becky to determine who would face Charlotte at WrestleMania. This was a fantastic match.
It was good.
It was so... I'm even more excited knowing what the match at WrestleMania is. It's official now. This match, we had Charlotte and Ric Flair show up about halfway through, much like they were at ringside for the one on Monday night.
I'll say, the one thing that happened because of that, that me and everyone who was at my house watching SmackDown, we kept, when Charlotte came out, like, Becky and Sasha just kind of stopped and stared at her the whole time as she was walking down. And, like, me and the other people who I was watching SmackDown with were just like, hey, why doesn't one of you, like, attack the other one while they're distracted? Come on. Like, this would be a great chance to win the #1 contendership right now.
But they're baby faces. They're gonna be respectful because the bitchy heel just showed up.
I wouldn't have put it past Sasha.
Yeah, fair enough. But this would end up going to a no contest. They would fight their way out to the outside and hit a double clothesline.
Good job, lady.
And then we get old Grandpa Ric Flair and his moccasins all up in the girls' faces.
Yeah, it's Gucci loafers.
Wooing and slapping his shoulders and making all kinds of noise. And eventually, he's against the ring and they're both staring at him like he's fucking crazy, because he is. And then Charlotte would attack both of them from behind, beat the crap out of both of them. Thus, we get no #1 contender once again.
Yeah, Charlotte's like in a backstage segment, like, hey, guess what? I'm not fighting them at Mania because they both lost.
And Renee's like, you're right, you're not facing either of them, you're facing both of them.
What?
And Charlotte went, well, shit.
She cried a lot.
So we officially have a triple threat match for the Divas Championship at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I like that after that segment, Charlotte and Rick walked away like they were going to a funeral or something. They just both had their heads down and they were walking away all slow.
They thought they had a plan in motion, and then it backfired big time.
Backfired like a can of beans.
All right.
It's a fart joke.
So our last match before we get to the Dean Ambrose, Kevin Owens stuff, we had AJ Styles all by himself because Jericho was on a promotional tour for WWE, taking on Kofi Kingston, who had the rest of the New Day in his corner.
Funny promo.
Of course, it's a New Day promo. Absolutely hysterical.
They've made so many references to Bootios now that I really hope those become available on shop.com.
Yeah, please, WWE, if you market Bootios, if you sell Bootios,
you know what's going to be really
we will
gross?
buy them.
You know what's going to be really gross? Is there going to be chocolate-coated Cheerios?
Ew. I'd still eat it.
That's what Bootio is, man.
I'd still eat it.
It's the O in the booty.
Yeah. My favorite part of this promo was they started by talking about miracles, things that we can't.
Jello.
We can't explain these things like Jello. We can't explain these things.
But it's just a mixture of water.
And then Kofi covers Big E's mouth and go, we can't explain these things.
Yeah, he attributes I don't know, like light and gravity and Jello.
But yeah, no, another fantastic promo leading into a match. I was super excited when they announced it was going to be Kofi versus AJ.
Yeah.
First time ever. And the fact that they went more physical than high flying, which is usually these guys' strong suit.
I think it was really good because it really led to the finish of the match.
Yes. And the New Day was much more of a threat this time because AJ was by himself. He didn't have Chris Jericho in his corner. And they ultimately, they get ejected from ringside because Big E goes over to distract the referee while Xavier Woods is trying to drag AJ. I don't know where he was going with him, but the ref turns around and sees Xavier Woods dragging AJ across the floor on the outside, ends up sending them both to the back, and this bothers Kofi Kingston, who gets in the face of the referee. Referee's, he's trying to let him know, he's like, hey, they're getting involved, and then Kofi just happens to turn around right into the flying forearm from AJ Styles, which picks up the win for AJ.
Yeah. I would the shot that AJ got when he was on the outside from Kofi that knocked him towards the commentator's table.
Oh, yeah.
That was gnarly. And
yeah.
then there was a freaking, I want to feel there was a receipt given by AJ inside the ring. He gave Kofi a kick.
Yeah, no,
caught him right in the face.
They were good. There was a lot of physicality for two guys that are usually very fast-paced, high-flying guys.
I think a lot of people now, I realize, is when they're in the ring with AJ, a lot of people are really trying to I feel like maybe impress AJ or at least wrestle in a style that's more comfortable to him. Where
Since he's been in Japan for so long?
Yeah, coming from the Japan style where everything's a lot more physical.
Yeah.
I
can definitely see Kofi going a lot more physical than he normally would.
You know, and it was like, you know, seeing guys kind of trying to step up to that level is kind of cool.
Yeah. So yeah, AJ, and afterwards we had Big E and Xavier Woods go after AJ, and he's able to slip under the bottom rope and slide out the other side of the ring.
Yeah, he ninja'd his way around
to avoid getting the beat down. So he's got some momentum as him and Chris Jericho get their tag team title shot this Monday on Raw.
What?
And then a couple small little notes. We had a turn in the Goldust R-Truth situation, where after R-Truth got real pissy with Goldust on Raw, Goldust is kind of in a slump now, and now all of a sudden R-Truth wants to be part of the tag team.
Yeah, well, and now he feels bad because like R-Truth's in catering and he looks over. First he says something to nondescript bald black guy in the vest.
Yeah, he said, "Do you have any great poupon?"
Yeah, and like I'm trying to figure out who that was.
I was too. I had no idea. Really dark. He is tanned D'Lo Brown.
Like he was as dark as Titus O'Neil.
Yeah, but
like,
not as tall.
Yeah, not as big. Maybe JTT shaved his hair. That'd be weird. Yeah, and then he looks over and he sees Goldust sitting at one of the tables, and he's very dejected, just kind of like playing with his food with his fork.
All by himself in the back of the room, just...
And now Archer feels bad, so he wants to go over and he wants to, like... He knows he's responsible for Goldust feeling bad, so now he just wants to go over there and say something to make Goldust... give him, liven his spirits up again.
But Goldust doesn't trust him because he's just been turning him away for weeks.
And doing stuff like throwing cake in his face.
Yeah, and Goldust helped him pick up a win last week, and he's not giving him the time of day, and so now Goldust is expecting, if he says yes, he'll get goaded in, and something bad will happen, like he's gonna throw the plate of food that Goldust has in his face. So Goldust does it for him, which was kind of strange. But yeah, so an interesting turn here. We'll see where this ends up going. And the final little bit, we are getting Bray Wyatt versus Brock Lesnar at Roadblock. The third match that has been announced for this show.
In my head, I said Bray Wyatt versus Brock Lesnar at Roadblock.
Wait, I didn't say that, did I?
No, I said it in my head as you were saying.
Oh, woohoo! I thought I said something. Good. My mind works better than I thought it did. Yeah. So cool. Former WrestleMania plan is now going to the network special on the 12th.
I'm curious, just at the fact that this was like an initial idea for Mania, I'm going to be curious at what kind of in-ring chemistry Brock Lesnar and Bray Wyatt have.
I don't see this match being pretty.
Bray Wyatt is very atypical compared to the other people that Brock Lesnar's gone against. If you think of like Seth Rollins, John Cena, Triple H, Roman Reigns, all very physical, big,
Dean Ambrose,
very athletic in that kind of way, very impressive physically, kind of characters. Well, Bray Wyatt's he's bigger. He's not as physically impressive as he is more of a mind games kind of wrestler.
Yeah, and I don't see mind games doing anything for Brock Lesnar.
Not really. I mean, the only...
Not these days, at least.
The one thing that they need to capitalize going in on this is the fact that pre-Rumble, the Wyatts had Lesnar's number.
Yeah, and I think that's my biggest issue, is that there hasn't been any sort of conflict between Bray Wyatt and Brock Lesnar since the Rumble. There's been no altercations, there's been no talk back and forth, there's been nothing. And now we're just going to do this match, and it'll probably lead into, like, hey, remember that time that Brock Lesnar beat Bray Wyatt at Roadblock? Well, now we're going to do the match even bigger, but it's SummerSlam.
Yeah. In a way, I say, yeah, it's kind of why are they doing it now? On the other hand, I always think back now, no matter what, of how much space there's been between like a feud that was starting before the Rumble, and it's only like 2 months later, and they're gonna like bring the pay-per-view match about it now. I always think back to Randy Orton versus CM Punk, and how Punk restarted their feud like 3 years after the one time Orton kicked CM Punk backstage to cost him a match. You know, like Punk brings that around like 3 years later to start a feud over the championship. That's so fair. I'm, 2 months doesn't mean quite that much to me.
All right.
I've learned to suspend my theories of time and place.
That's fair.
For professional wrestling.
All right. So the two big segments of SmackDown this week was we had Dean Ambrose come out and talk about all the options.
It was the bread to the SmackDown sandwich.
Yes, it was. We had Dean Ambrose come out, take a seat in the ring because he's a little beat up after Brock Lesnar and Triple H kind of whooping his ass for a few weeks. And he talks about all the possibilities that are on the horizon if he beats Triple H for the championship at Roadblock.
Yes.
Because now there's the option, okay, do I face the guy who won the right to go for the championship in Roman Reigns, or do I take the title to my match that I'm already scheduled for against Brock Lesnar, or is Triple H going to like figure out some way where I end up having to go against him, where he gets a rematch? And so there's all these different options kind of playing.
There are, because you could think he'd do Roman Reigns, rematch against Triple H, he could go against Brock, he could triple threat with Roman Reigns and Triple H, he could fatal 4-way with all three of them. So
let's do a fatal 4-way. If this is going to happen, let's do a fatal 4-way.
There's a lot of options.
Let's do a fatal 4-way, no holds barred match. So we get the championship and the stipulation from Ambrose Lesnar. We'll just put it all together. And that way, everybody can be happy. Unless Roman Reigns walks out with the title, and then there's going to be a lot of pissed off people. But I'd be okay with it. Anyway, since Dean Ambrose is getting all this attention, Kevin Owens is real pissed off because he is a champion and he's not getting all this attention like Dean Ambrose is.
Well, he to me has a legitimate gripe.
Yeah,
I agree with Kevin Owens. Is that Dean Ambrose, a guy who's not a champion, has a championship match at Roadblock and is booked in a very high-profile match at WrestleMania.
And whereas nothing for Kevin Owens.
Kevin Owens, who has the Intercontinental Championship, isn't booked at either show yet.
Yep.
So there's a legitimate gripe there.
Yeah. So he gets. I loved his line where he's just like, 2 weeks ago Brock Lesnar used you as his personal doormat, and then this past Monday Triple H beat you up on the table, and the only reason you're here is because Triple H chose to stop punching you in the face. And so he gets in the ring with Ambrose and says, if you've got all these big matches set up, well, are you really going to be able to make it past these matches? Are you going to be able to make it to Roadblock to your championship match? And he starts shoving Dean Ambrose while he's sitting in the chair. And then Kevin Owens gets the bright idea, I'm going to attack Ambrose from behind, and goes to club him in the back. Ambrose ducks out of the way, grabs the chair, whacks Kevin Owens in the back, and brings to light that, hey, there's a giant TV screen that Dean Ambrose saw Kevin Owens trying to attack him on, and then challenges Kevin Owens to a match where Kevin Owens doesn't agree initially, but we do get it, and it is our main event. The Intercontinental Champion Kevin Owens taking on the #1 contender for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, Dean Ambrose.
Yeah, and it's very typical fare for what you get out of an Ambrose-Owens match, which is usually good.
Yes, it's very much like the Ambrose Rollins. It's one of those things that they're able to change up stuff every single time they wrestle. It's always a fresh new match. It's not always necessarily a good idea, but because it's a good main event for SmackDown.
Yeah,
it's two big players
in a way becoming the new Cena Orton.
In a good way.
Yeah, just in a way it's like, because I was talking about this again with the people that I was watching SmackDown with, is they were saying like they didn't agree with the Lesnar Ambrose at Mania. Oh. And so the suggested replacement was, why not have Ambrose challenge Owens for the Intercontinental title at Mania, because Ambrose still hasn't gotten his rematch.
It's true.
And I said, it's the same reason why you won't see Orton Cena at Mania. Orton Cena has been done so many times on Raw and other pay-per-views. Same thing with Ambrose Owens. Ambrose Owens has happened on multiple pay-per-views and on multiple Raws and Smackdowns.
Right.
And it's one of those matches they know that they can go to on any given day when they need something, when they need a spot on a card. They know that they can do this and get a quality match.
Right.
So it's not one that they're going to book and be like, oh, hey, let's make it big and important.
Yeah, check out this big match that's going to happen on WrestleMania that you've seen 100 times already.
Yeah.
It loses its luster, but once again, it goes back to the ability of these two guys always keeping it fresh. And this one was really good because because Ambrose had been beaten up by Lesnar and Triple H so many weeks in a row that the injuries are piling up.
Yeah.
And Owens had targets to go after. He had the ribs, he had the shoulders. He had so many different things that he could try and just destroy to take down Dean Ambrose. And this was good for Dean Ambrose because we're building him up as the indestructible. I can get beat down as many times as I want and keep coming back. And this is a great match to show both sides. You have the issues that Kevin Owens has, and you have the tenacity that Dean Ambrose has. And it worked out really well. Just some great spots, great work from both of them. Owens getting real loud at multiple points, hitting the senton twice during the match. And he'd go for the hat trick at the end, and this would be his undoing.
Yeah, the finish sequence was my favorite part of the match.
Yeah.
And I like it because, and it's not unlike anything we have seen these guys do before. They do all these same things almost every time they wrestle against each other.
They added stuff to their usual end.
It's just, the idea that they can move all these moves that they do, and they do all these moves every time they wrestle each other. But the fact that they do them so quickly and so fluidly, how it all just links together really well, because you have Owens goes for the pop-up powerbomb, Dean reverses it into the Rana, but Owens rolls out of the Rana and gets up and kicks Dean in the face.
Yeah.
Then he goes for the senton, Dean gets the knees up, and he hits Dirty Deeds.
Yeah. And it
just happened so
and it was so good too, because you had Owens who was so sure that he could take down Dean Ambrose. And when he gets hit with the knees, it just enrages him, and he runs right into Dirty Deeds. He's just so mad that he doesn't take into consideration that Dean Ambrose is Dean Ambrose. He just thinks that he can take care of the guy. But Dean Ambrose picks up the win. More momentum heading into his title match against Triple H on the 12th, which will be next Saturday.
I guess we're gonna probably do a predictions video after that.
Maybe.
Put it at the end of SmackDown.
We might.
We might combine them to the SmackDown rundown.
Maybe.
We've done it before.
Maybe we'll do maybe after Roadblock we'll do a SmackDown Roadblock review video or something. We'll figure something out. We'll let you know what's going on. But as of right now, thanks for watching.
Also, you know what? On a side note about Roadblock, I'm going to say I appreciate the fact that they're joint efforting and having NXT have a presence on Roadblock.
Yeah, we talked about this yesterday on the midweek wrap-up, where the Revival, Dash and Dawson, will be defending the tag team titles against Enzo and Cass.
So that's going to be rad.
Yeah. And then we've got the Triple H, Dean Ambrose, and now we have Bray Wyatt versus Brock Lesnar. So we got ourselves about half a card, depending on how long the show ends up being, probably 2 hours. But yeah, once again, thanks for watching.
Yeah,
sure, like, comment, and subscribe.
Click links.
All the links.
Links at the bottom. Keep them clicked.
Keep them clicked. Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, Reddit, and 2 emails. And for those of you on the YouTubes, check out the podcast if you want to listen to us. Those of you who listen to the podcast, check out the YouTube so you can see pictures, our crazy set, our beautiful faces. You can have a conversation kind of to our faces if you want. Comment. Brittany, thank you for commenting on all the videos that you do. We appreciate it. More of you need to comment. What do you guys think about the Kevin Owens versus Dean Ambrose on SmackDown. What do you think about the Roadblock card so far?
What did you think about Styles versus Kofi?
It was amazing.
That was a fun match.
Awesome. But most of all, if you're on the YouTube, check out that playlist over there. Just on the other side of Kevin Hahn. We got Raw review, midweek wrap up, this SmackDown rundown. Coming up next, we have the indie news with Beyond Wrestling, AIW, and ROH results. Lots of stuff. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you at whatever video you decide to watch next. Yeah! Fuck Alex Riley.
Yeah, stuff. None of that had to do with Alex Riley, but fuck him anyway. Yeah. Fuck it, Alex Riley. He can fuck it too.
Second?